welcome you all for today's class. We'll start with the prayers. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desharine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gauravakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So in the last session we have covered up to shloka number 15. So today we continue from shloka number 16 onwards of Bhagavad Gita chapter 1. So this shloka talks about Ananta Vijayam Raja Kunti Putro Yudhishthiraha Nakulaha Sahadevascha Sughosha Manipushpakau Kashyascha Parameshwasa Shikhandi cha Maharathaha Drishtabdyumno Viratascha Satyakishchaparajitaha Drupado Draupadeyascha Sarvashah Prithivipate Saubhadrascha Mahabaho Shankhan Dadmu Prathak Prathak. So before this we had seen at how in the beginning of the battle of Kurukshetra, just before this verse, there was blowing of the conch shell from Bhishma, and after that there was blowing of conch shell from Krishna and Arjuna, and others started blowing their conch shells. So here it also mentions different people who are blowing their conch shells. Translation: King Yudhishthira, the son of Kunti, blew his conch shell, the Ananta Vijaya, and Nakula and Seva blew the Sughosha and Manipushpaka. That great archer, the king of Kashi, the great fighter Shikhandi, Drishtadyumna, Virata, and the unconquerable Satyaki, Drupada, the son of Draupadi, and the others, O king, such as the son of Subhadra, greatly armed, all blew their respective conch shells. So there is mention of different warriors who had assembled on the battlefield, and they all started blowing their conch shells, indicating the battle is about to begin. So we'll see the purport. Sanjaya informed King Dhritarashtra very tactfully that his unwise policy of deceiving the sons of Pandu and endeavoring to enthrone his own sons on the seat of the kingdom was not very laudable. The signs already clearly indicated that the whole Kuru dynasty would be killed in that great battle. Beginning with the grandsire Bhishma down to the grandsons Abhimanyu and others, including kings from many states of the world, all were present there, and all were doomed. The whole catastrophe was due to King Dhritarashtra because he encouraged the policy followed by his sons. So the whole battle of Kurukshetra between Pandavas and Kauravas is happening because Dhritarashtra could control his son Duryodhana. He just encouraged whatever he wanted to do. And the result is now the whole world is gathered for this great war. And all of them are going to die in this battle. Beginning from Bhishma Deva, who is their great grandfather, and up to Abhimanyu. So the entire dynasty, from grandsons up to the grandfather, all generations are here on the battlefield, and all are going to die in this battlefield. And it was all because of Dhritarashtra encouraging the policy of his sons headed by Duryodhana. Next shloka. Saghosho dhartarashtranam hridayani vedarayat nabhascha prithivim chaiva tumulo abhyanunadayan. So earlier there was blowing conch shell from the Kauravas side, and after that the blowing of conch shells from Pandavas side. So what we heard, they are all from the Pandavas side, with Krishna and Arjuna, then other the 5 Pandavas, those who are supporting them. So all of them, they started blowing their conch shells. And now Sanjay is telling here that Saghosho Dharta Rashtram Hridayani Vedarayat. So that sound, that vibration, Saghoshaha Dharta Rashtram Hridayani Vedarayat. So it shattered the hearts of sons of Dhritarashtra. And Nabhascha Prithivim Chaiva Tumulo Abhyanunadayan. So that tumultuous sound, it resounded in the entire sky, both in the sky and on the earth. The blowing of these different conch shells became uproarious and thus vibrating both in the sky and on the earth. It shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra. So the Dhritarashtra's sons, the Kauravas, Duryodhana and others, so their hearts were shattered just by listening to the sound of conch shells blown by the Pandavas side. Purport. When Bhishma and the others on the side of Duryodhana blew their respective conch shells, there was no heartbreaking on the part of the Pandavas. Such occurrences are mentioned, but in this particular verse, it is mentioned that the hearts of the sons of Rashtra were shattered by the sounds vibrated by the Pandavas party. This is due to the Pandavas and their confidence in Lord Krishna. One who takes shelter of the Supreme Lord has nothing to fear, even in the midst of the greatest calamity. So here Sanjaya is clearly indicating that when Bhishma and others, they blew their conch shells, Pandava's side, they were not afraid, or their hearts did not shatter. But when Pandavas started blowing their conch shells, the sound was so uproarious and tumultuous that the Kauravas, Dhritarashtra and his party, so they all, their hearts got shattered. So this is due to the confidence of the Pandavas. So they are very confident. Confidently, they have come to the battlefield. And what is the cause of their confidence? Although the strength of their army was smaller than the army of the Duryodhana, there was a big difference. There was a big difference in number of soldiers, number of chariots, elephants, horses. There was a big difference. But still, their confidence was more compared to the confidence of the Duryodhana and party, because the devotees are dependent on Krishna. They are dependent on their own strength. Pandavas, being the pure devotees of Krishna, they are dependent on Lord Krishna. So here Prabhupada mentions, one who takes shelter of the Supreme Lord has nothing to fear. So there is no fear, and not in the ordinary situations. Even in the midst of greatest calamity also, the devotees are fearless, because they have taken shelter of Krishna's lotus feet, and they have surrendered fully to the will of Krishna. It says, Maro bhi rakho bhi jo ichha tumhara. So either Krishna can kill me or Krishna can protect me as he desires. Nitya dasa prati tuva adhikara. So because the devotees, they considered themselves as the eternal servants of Krishna, and it is the fact, each and every living entity, as we go forward in the Bhagavad Gita, we see that our relationship with Krishna is eternally through service, and the master has got all rights on the servant, so he can protect or he can kill. So this is set of the devotees totally surrendered to Krishna. Krishna protects us or Krishna kills us. So Krishna is free to act the way he wants, and that is the teaching of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also. Krishna is free to do whatever he likes, but the devotee is always surrendered to the will of Krishna. And of course, Krishna always protects his devotees. Sometimes the devotees may be apparently they are in danger, but at the end we see always Krishna in the protection. And best example is the Pandavas themselves. They had to undergo so much of calamities, but they were saved from all the calamities. We see in the prayers by the Kunti Maharani also, after this battle, it comes in the Bhagavatam. What happens after this battle? Srimad Bhagavatam. So there Kunti Maharani offers her prayers that how Krishna protected from different dangers. So because of their confidence in the protection of Krishna, so when they blew their conch shells, the Duryodhana and their party, their hearts got shattered. Next shloka. Atha vyavasthitan drishtva dhartarashtraन् kapidhvajah pravritte shastra sampate dhanurudyamya pandavah rishikesham tada vakyam idam aha mahipate. So after that, Arjuna begins to get ready for the fight. O king, at that time, Arjuna, the son of Pandu, who was seated in his chariot, his flag marked with Hanuman, took up his bow and prepared to shoot his arrows, looking at the son of Dhritarashtra. O king, Arjuna then spoke to Rishikesha Krishna these words. So here Arjuna is preparing for the fight, and at that time he is speaking to Arjuna the following. And here the Ratha or chariot of Arjuna, it is having a flag, and on the flag there is an emblem of Hanuman. Purport. The battle was just about to begin. It is understood from the above statement that the sons of Dhritarashtra were more or less disheartened by the unexpected arrangement of military force by the Pandavas, who were guided by the direct instructions of Lord Krishna on the battlefield. The emblem of Hanuman on the flag of Arjuna is another sign of victory because Hanuman cooperated with Lord Rama in the battle between Rama and Ravana, and Lord Rama emerged victorious. Now both Rama and Hanuman were present on the chariot of Arjuna to help him. Lord Krishna is Rama himself, and wherever Lord Rama is, his eternal servitor Hanuman and his eternal consort Sita, the goddess of fortune, are present. Therefore, Arjuna had no cause to fear any enemies whatsoever. And above all, the Lord of the Lord Krishna was personally present to give direction. Thus, all the good counsel was available to Arjuna in the matter of executing the battle. In such auspicious conditions arranged by the Lord for his eternal devotee lay the signs of assured victory. So, there are many indications here which Prabhupada is in the purport. So, Arjuna, on his flag there is Hanuman, and on his sides there is Krishna, who is none other than Lord Rama himself. And wherever Krishna or Vishnu is present, goddess of fortune Lakshmi ji is always present. She never leaves the company of Vishnu or Krishna. So, along with Arjuna, there is the Supreme Lord Krishna himself, and wherever Krishna is there, there is a goddess of fortune, and on his flag there is Hanuman. And how Hanuman cooperated with Lord Rama against the battle of Ravana, and Ravana was defeated, Rama was victorious. In the same way, now Arjuna is accompanied by Hanuman and Krishna himself, and along with Krishna, there is a goddess of fortune. So, here Prabhupada is mentioning that and Krishna is also known as Rishikesha, the master of the senses. So Arjuna's senses are under the direct guidance of Krishna, Rishikesha. So Krishna is personating Arjuna, he himself is there with him. And there is a goddess of fortune, there is Hanuman. So all these indications show that Pandavas are going to be victorious in this battle. So Krishna has arranged such an auspicious conditions for his eternal devotee. So the victory is assured for the Pandavas. So when Arjuna was preparing to shoot his arrows, that time he asks Krishna in the following verse, Arjuna Uvacha, Senayor Ubhayor Madhe Ratham Sthapaya Me Achyuta Yavad Etan Niriksheham Yodhu Kaman Avasthitan Kairmaya Sahayodhavyam Asmin Rana Samudyame. So Arjuna asks Krishna that Senayor Ubhayor Madhe. So in the middle of both the armies, Ubhaya Sena. So in the middle of both the armies, Senayor Ubhayor Madhe, Ratham Sthapaya Me Achyuta. So Achyuta is another name of Krishna, which means infallible. And he's asking Ratham Sthapaya, you please take this chariot between the two armies. Yavad etan nirikshe yodhu kaman avastitan, so that I can see those who have come with the desire to fight. Yodhu kaman avastitan. Kairmaya sah yodhavyam asmin rana samudyame. And with whom I must fight in this battlefield. I want to see them. So you please take the chariot between the two armies. Translation. Arjuna said, O infallible one, please draw my chariot between the two armies so that I may see who is present here, who is this of fighting, and with whom I must contend in this great attempt. Purport. Although Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, out of his causeless mercy, he was engaged in the service of his friend. So if you see here, the position of Krishna, he is the Supreme Lord, and Arjuna is his devotee. So the situation should be that Krishna should be, or Arjuna should be engaged in Krishna's service, because he is the Supreme Lord and Arjuna is a living entity. So the living entity's position is to engage in service of Krishna. But here we see that the position is reversed here, because Krishna has taken the position of charioteer, which is a servant's position. It is like a driver. It's like you have a car and there is a driver for the car. So Krishna has agreed to the servant of Arjuna. Originally the master, he is the Supreme Lord. Everybody is under him. But out of his affection for his devotees, Krishna, this is the quality of Krishna, that he is ready to render service to his devotees. Although his position is of the Supreme Lord, everybody comes and falls at his feet. All the devatas, big demigods, including Brahma and Shiva, they offer prayers to Krishna. But Krishna is ready to serve his devotees. So this shows that how much Krishna loves his devotees and is ready to take the position of such a menial position also. And we see throughout in the Mahabharata also, we see at different places Krishna has taken up different these kind of inferior positions. Even in case of Vrindavan pastimes, we see that how Krishna is completely under the control of his parents and other devotees. So God comes under the control of his devotees because of their pure love for them. So that is the quality of Krishna. He is controlled by the love of their devotees, his devotees. And he is called Achyuta. He never fails in his affection for his devotees, and thus he is addressed herein as infallible. So he never fails in his affection for his devotees. Therefore, Arjuna is addressing Krishna here as Achyuta. And Arjuna knows that I am the tiny living entity. Krishna is the Supreme Lord, but still he has become my chariot driver. So he is addressing him that you are Achyuta. So you never fails in your affection for devotees. As chariot, he had to carry out the orders of Arjuna, and since he did not hesitate to do so, he is addressed as infallible. Just like here, Arjuna is ordering Krishna. Krishna, please take my chariot there between the two armies. So he's ordering Krishna, which is not proper because he is the master. But still, Krishna, out of his affection, he has become the charioteer of Arjuna, and he is not hesitating to carry out the orders of his devotee. So therefore, Arjuna is addressing Krishna as infallible Achyuta. Although he had accepted the position of a charioteer for his devotee, his supreme position was not challenged. In all circumstances, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Rishikesha, the Lord of the total senses. So one should not think that no, Krishna has also become a servant here. So how he can be God? He is doing somebody's service. Although he is accepting the position of servant, but his position as the Supreme Master, Ishvara Parama Krishna, that is not challenged. This shows his love for his devotees. Just like a father, his position is superior to his son, but sometimes he becomes a horse for his son, and son is climbing on his shoulders. So that is the relationship of love between the son and father. So father may be a owner of a big company and everybody is saluting him, but at his home, his son is climbing on his shoulder. That is because of the love between the father and the son. The same way, Krishna and his devotees, they are connected with this um, pure love. And for that, the devotee is always eager to serve Krishna. In the same way, devotees are also eager to serve Krishna. So there is a competition between Krishna and his devotees. Who wants to serve better? The relationship between the Lord and his servitors is very sweet and transcendental. The servitor is always ready to render a service to the Lord, and similarly, the Lord is always seeking an opportunity to render some service to the devotee. He takes great pleasure in his pure devotees assuming the advantageous position of ordering him than he does in being the giver of orders. So Krishna takes more pleasure when his devotee, when his pure orders him, than he ordering, than he giving orders. And this is the sweet relationship between Krishna and his devotees. As master, everyone is under his orders and no one is above him to order him. But when he finds that a pure devotee is ordering him, he obtains transcendental pleasure, although he is the infallible master of all circumstances. So Krishna desires a transcendental pleasure by serving his devotees. So when he sees that his pure devotee is ordering him, so he finds a transcendental pleasure in such interactions. Although he is the master in all circumstances and his position never changes. As a pure devotee of the Lord, Arjuna had no desire to fight with his cousins and brothers, but he was forced to come onto the battlefield by the obstinacy of Duryodhana, who was never agreeable to any peaceful negotiation. So the whole battle was because of the obstinacy of Duryodhana. I don't want end of agreement because they requested at least give us 5 villages and we will rule over them and we will live. You keep the whole kingdom. But Duryodhana was not ready to give even much land which can hold the tip of nail or the needle. So he was not ready to part even that much, one tip of needle, that much land also he was not ready to give. So it was by force the Pandavas had to come for this battlefield. And that is the quality of pure devotees. So they have no desire to fight. But because of the circumstances, they had to come for this battle. Therefore, he was very anxious to see who the leading persons present on the battlefield were. Although there was no question of peacemaking endeavor on the battlefield, he wanted to see them again and to see how much they were bent upon demanding an unwanted war. So he wanted to see who all have come for this unwanted war and joined Duryodhana's side. So he wanted to see them. For that purpose, he is telling Krishna that you please place the chariot between the two armies. Next shloka. योत्स्यमानान् अवेक्षेऽहं य एते अत्र समागताः धार्तराष्ट्रस्य दुर्बुद्धेर् युद्धे प्रियचिकीर्षवः. So I want to see who all have come with a desire to fight and to please Dhartarashtra Durbudhe. So he's calling him evil-minded Duryodhana, the son of Dhritarashtra, who all have come to please him. Because whoever have joined, so they wanted to please Duryodhana for some purpose, some ulterior motives. So they have joined Duryodhana's party. So I want to see all those who have come to fight. Let me see those who have come here to fight, wishing to please the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra. Purport. It was an open secret that Duryodhana wanted to usurp the kingdom of the Pandavas by evil plans, in collaboration with his father Dhritarashtra. So it was known to everybody that actually the kingdom belonged to the Pandavas, and Duryodhana somehow is trying to usurp that kingdom along with his father Dhritarashtra. It was known to everyone. But still, there were people who had joined hands with Duryodhana, who were of his same category, same mentality. Therefore, all person who had joined the side of Duryodhana must have been birds of the same feather. They were of the same category. Arjuna wanted to see them in the battlefield before the fight was begun, just to learn who they are. But he had no intention of proposing peace negotiations with them. It was also a fact that he wanted to see them to make an estimate of the strength which he had to face, although he was confident of victory, because Krishna was sitting by his side. So Arjuna just wanted to see who all have come and what is their strength. He had no intention of making any peace proposals with them. at this stage. Next shloka. Sanjay Uvacha. Evamukto Rishikesho Gudakeshena Bharata Senayor Ubhayor Madhye Sthapayitva Rathottamam. So, after hearing this, Krishna, who is addressed here as Rishikesha, what he does, he takes the chariot and places it in between both the armies. Sanjaya said, O descendant of Bharata. So Arjuna is addressed here as Bharata. So Bharata means descendant of Bharat Maharaj. So Bharat was a great king in the dynasty of in whose dynasty these Pandavas and Kauravas were there. The description of Bharat Maharaj comes in Srimad Bhagavatam. So after him, this planet was also known as Bharatavarsha. And all the descendants of Bharata, they are called Bharata. So Arjuna is also addressed here as Bharata. O descendant of Bharata, being thus addressed by Arjuna, Lord Krishna drew up the fine chariot in the midst of the armies of both the parties. Senayor Ubhayor Madhye Stitva Rathottamam. But in this verse, Arjuna is referred to as Gudakesha. So here, Evamukto Rishikesho Gudakeshena Bharata. So Gudakesha, he told Rishikesha. So Rishikesha is name of Krishna and Gudakesha is another name of Arjuna. Gudaka means sleep, and one who conquers sleep is called Gudakesha. So Gudakesha, the meaning of the name Gudakesha is one who has conquered sleep. Sleep also means ignorance. So Arjuna conquered both sleep and ignorance because of his friendship with Krishna. So sleep also means ignorance. Generally, all the living entities who are there in the material world, they are ignorant of their true self. They have no information that I am not this body, I am a spirit soul inside the body. And what is my relationship with God? Who am I? Why I have come into this world? What purpose of this existence? What is the goal of life? All information is forgotten or not known by the conditioned souls. So that way, everyone within this material world is under the spell of illusion or ignorance. And those who are devotees, so they have conquered this ignorance. And Arjuna, because he was a friend of Krishna, related with Krishna in friendship, and a devotee of Krishna, so he has conquered this ignorance. He has no doubt about who is he, what is his relationship with Krishna. So therefore, he is known as Gudakesha. And also, Arjuna had conquered sleep also. He could go on without sleeping for many days. Generally, we require sleep every day, at least some 6 to 7, 8 hours. But Arjuna had conquered sleep. He could go on without sleeping for many days. Therefore, also, he was known as Gudakesha. Another meaning of Gudakesha is who has conquered ignorance. As a great devotee of Krishna, he could not forget Krishna even for a moment, because that is the nature of a devotee. Either in waking or in sleep, a devotee of the Lord can never be free from thinking of Krishna's name, form, qualities, and pastimes. Thus, a devotee of Krishna can conquer both sleep and ignorance simply by thinking of Krishna constantly. So, how one conquer this ignorance? So, if one always is thinking of Krishna, then he is not in ignorance. So even in the sleeping, those who are pure devotees, they'll be thinking of Krishna, they'll be dreaming about Krishna. So that way, they don't have a single moment where they are disconnected from Krishna. So that's why they are free from ignorance or free from this illusion or free from this darkness. So Arjuna, being a pure devotee, he was always thinking of Krishna, either in waking or sleep. Therefore, he is called as Gudakesha. This is called Krishna consciousness or Samadhi. So Krishna consciousness means always thinking of Krishna, either in the wake-up state or in the sleeping state. And such a state is called Samadhi or Krishna consciousness. As Rishikesha, or the director of the senses and mind of every living entity, Krishna could understand Arjuna's purpose in placing the chariot in the midst of the armies. Thus he did so and spoke as follows. So Krishna is present in all our hearts as Paramatma, and he knows everything that is going on in every living entity's mind. Everybody's mind, yours, whoever is there in the existence. So Krishna is aware of what is going on in everybody's mind. So he knew also what is going on in Krishna's mind. So that we see in the following verses, what was going on in the mind of Arjuna. So Krishna could understand why Arjuna is asking me to place the chariot in the midst of both the armies. And he places the chariot and he spoke the following words. Bhishma Drona Pramukhatah Sarvesham cha Mahikshitaam Tapashaitan Samavetan Kuruniti. So Krishna places the chariot between the two armies. He places in such a way that Arjuna could see Bhishma and Drona clearly. So he takes in front of Bhishma and Drona where they are, and he places the chariot in between the armies. And then he speaks Uvacha Partha Pashaitan Samavetan Kuruniti. Just behold, Partha, all the Kurus who are assembled here. So Krishna takes the chariot and places in such a way that Arjuna could see Bhishma and Drona. Then he says, look at the Kurus who have assembled here. Translation. In the presence of Bhishma, Drona, and all other chieftains of the world, Rishikesha, the Lord said, just behold, Partha, all the Kurus who are assembled here. Purport. As the supersoul of all living entities, Lord Krishna could understand what was going on in the mind of Arjuna. The use of the word Rishikesha in this connection indicates that he knew everything, and the word Partha or the son of Kunti or Pritha is also similarly significant in reference to Arjuna. As a friend, he wanted to inform Arjuna that because Arjuna was the son of Pritha, the sister of his own father Vasudeva, he had agreed to be the charioteer of Arjuna. Now, what did Krishna mean? He told Arjuna to behold the Kurus. Arjuna want to stop there and not fight? Krishna never expected such things from the son of his aunt Pritha. The mind of Arjuna was thus predicted by the Lord in friendly joking. So here Krishna understands what is going on in the mind of Arjuna. So Arjuna's main concern was fighting with Bhishma and Drona because they were very affectionate towards the Pandavas, and Bhishma was the one who gave all protection to the Pandavas, and Drona was his teacher and the teacher of all the Pandavas, and they were all respectable, worshipable, but Arjuna had to fight with them because they were on the side of Duryodhana. So that was the hesitation in the mind of Arjuna, which Krishna could understand. And here Krishna is indicating whether Arjuna does not want to fight this battle. So in a friendly, joking way, he is telling he took the chariot in front of Bhishma and Drona specifically that Arjuna could see, and he is telling, behold the Kurus. The next shloka. Tatra pashyat sthitan pitrinathan acharyan matulan bhratrin putran pautran sakims tatha shashuran suhradashchaiva senayor uhayorapi. So here there is a mention of different relatives of the Pandavas, and he could see all of them. Translation. There Arjuna could see within the midst of the armies of both the parties his grandfathers, teachers, maternal uncles, brothers, sons, grandsons, friends, and also his father-in-law and well-wishers, all present there. So wherever Arjuna is looking, he is finding all his relatives only. Somebody is related as father, somebody is related as grandfather, somebody is a teacher, somebody is uncle, brother, sons. So all are somewhere or other related. So this is what Arjuna could see on the battlefield. Purport. On the battlefield, Arjuna could see all kinds of relatives. He could see persons like Bhurishrava, who were his father's contemporaries. So Bhurishrava is just like his father. Then there were grandfathers Bhishma and Somadatta. Then there were teachers like Dronacharya and Kripacharya. Then there were uncles Shalya and Shakuni. And Duryodhana and all his other brothers. They were all like brothers only. They were sons of their uncle, so they were like brothers. Then there were sons like Lakshmana and friends like Ashwathama and well-wishers like Kritavarma. So everywhere he could only see uh, all his friends and relatives on both the sides of army. It is filled with his own people. All relatives, friends, they are the one who are there in the both the armies. तान् समीक्ष्य स कौन्तेयः सर्वान् बन्धून् अवस्थितान् कृपया परयाविष्टो विषीदन्निदम् अब्रवीत्. When the son of Kunti, Arjuna, saw all these different grades of friends and relatives, he became overwhelmed with compassion and spoke thus. So Arjuna becomes very, very compassionate towards all these people who have assembled in this battlefield. And next moment, immediately, as soon as the war begins, immediately there will be dead bodies. Immediately there will be people who will be dying on the battlefield. And they all are related. So this is what is going to happen. He could foresee immediately, now there is going to be massacre of all these people. So he became overwhelmed with compassion and he began to speak like this. Arjuna was दृष्ट्वेवं स्वजनं कृष्ण युयुत्सुं समुपस्थितं सीदन्ति मम गात्राणि मुखं च परिशुष्यति. So he says, Drishtvevam Swajanam. So they're all my Swajana. And seeing them, there are different symptoms which is in his body, which are described. Arjuna said, my dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relatives present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel the limbs of my body quivering and my mouth drying up. So Arjuna's body begins to shake and his mouth starts drying up, seeing his own relatives standing before him in such a fighting spirit. Purport. Any man who has genuine devotion to the Lord has all the good qualities which are found in godly persons or in the demigods, whereas the non-devotee, however advanced he may be in material qualifications, by education and culture, lacks in godly qualities. So if somebody is a devotee, naturally he will have all the good qualities. And somebody who is not a devotee, he may be very polished, looking very cultured, but actually he will not have good qualities. It will be only a show. Whenever a situation comes, his true color will come out. But a devotee, under all circumstances, he will have all the good qualities. As such, Arjuna, after seeing his kinsmen, friends, and relatives on the battlefield, was at once overwhelmed by compassion for them who had so decided to fight amongst themselves. As far as his soldiers were concerned, he was sympathetic from the beginning, but he compassion even for the soldiers of the opposite party, foreseeing their imminent death. And so thinking, the limbs of his body began to quiver, and his mouth became dry. He was more or less astonished to see their fighting spirit. Practically, the whole community, all blood relatives of Arjuna, had come to fight with him. This overwhelmed a kind devotee like Arjuna. Although it is not mentioned here, still one can easily imagine that not only were Arjuna's bodily limbs quivering and his mouth drying up, but that he was also crying out of compassion. Such symptoms in Arjuna were not due to weakness, but to his soft-heartedness, a characteristic of a pure devotee of the Lord. So here Arjuna is overwhelmed, seeing all his friends and relatives, and came here to fight in such a fighting spirit. And he felt compassionate not only for his soldiers but also for the soldiers on the opposite side, seeing their imminent death. And because he was a kind-hearted, because he is a devotee, kind-hearted, so he became compassionate for them. And out of passion, his body started to shake and his mouth started drying up. And also he was crying out of compassion. And one should not mistake that Arjuna his body is shaking and his mouth is drying up out of fear, seeing that such a big army has come, how I am going to fight. So that was not the reason for Arjuna's these symptoms. So that was because of his kind-heartedness and compassion for the soldiers who are going to die in the battlefield. It is said, therefore, yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarvair gunais tatra samasate suraha harava bhaktas kuto mahadguna manorathena asati dhavato bhavihi. So this is a shloka which describes, comes in the Bhagavatam, that one who is a devotee, yasya asti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarvair gunes tatra samasate suraha. So one who is an unflinching devotee, akinchana bhakta of Krishna, of the Supreme Lord, sarvair gunes tatra samasate suraha. So the devotee, unflinching devotee of Krishna, will have all the good qualities which are found in the demigods or the devatas. On the other hand, kuto mahadguna, somebody who is not a devotee, he will not have any good qualities. And if he is looking and so many nice qualities, very nice, polished, cultured, it is simply on the mental platform. As soon as he is put into some difficult situation, immediately all his bad qualities will come out. So one who has unflinching devotion for the personality of Godhead has all the good qualities of the demigods, but one who is not a devotee of the Lord has only material qualifications that are of little value. This is because he is hovering on the mental plane and is certain to be attracted by the glaring material energies. So this we see in the example of, if we see Kamsa, during the marriage of Vasudeva and Devaki, he was so happy and he was personally taking the chariot and taking Vasudeva and Devaki back to their home, Vasudeva's home. So he was showing a lot of affection for her sister, that my sister, I will personally drive the chariot, take her to Vasudeva, so I'll drop her. So much good qualities he was showing as a very good brother. But as soon as he heard that the eighth child of Devaki is going to be the cause of his death and all his affection, love for sister gone, immediately he was ready to kill her. So because he was not a devotee, all the show of all these qualities was only on the mental platform. Actually, he had no good qualities. He was only self-centered. So those who are not devotees, they may exhibit some good qualities, but it is all simply an external show. But the devotees, they're under any circumstances, they'll always remain compassionate, and all the good qualities they'll exhibit. Just as we see in the case of Pandavas also, although they were put into so much of difficulties, but they never left the path of dharma. And we also see in the life of Ambarish Maharaj. So once Ambarish Maharaj was also put into a great difficulty by Durvasa Muni. So he created one Rakshasa to kill Ambarisha. But he was not disturbed. And Sudarshana Chakra started to chase. That Sudarshana Chakra killed that Rakshasa and then started chasing Durvasa Muni because of putting Ambarish Maharaj into difficulty, because he was a pure devotee of Krishna. And finally, Durvasa had to come and fall at the feet of Ambarish Maharaj for protection. He did not get protection anywhere in the universe. He went all the devatas, everywhere he went, even went up to Vaikuntha Loka and seek protection from Vishnu himself. But still, he did not get any protection. He had to come back and beg forgiveness from Ambarish Maharaj. Then only the Sudarshana left him. So Ambarish Maharaj, although Durvasa had tried to kill him unnecessarily, put him in trouble, and unnecessarily without any provocation, he wanted to kill Ambarish Maharaj. Still, he was remained humble even when Durvasa came and fell at his feet. So he was telling that, no, you are a great sage, and you should not be falling at feet of me, who am a worldly man. I am a king. So the devotees are always having good qualities and never get into wrong path. But on the other hand, those who are not devotees, they may exhibit a lot of good character, good qualities, but it is all simply external show. Under different circumstances, all their good qualities will be thrown into the air. So we will stop here today. We have covered up to shloka number 28 of first chapter. If there are any questions, we can discuss or we can summarize what we have understood today. So when somebody gives some points, what we discussed today, you can unmute and you can speak.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
You're able to hear me, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji. Able to hear.
Can I summarize, Prabhu, what you had the class today?
Yes.
You you started the class with revision, and then we went on to say about started with the 15th verse, how the inevitable war had to take place due to the greedy desire of Dhritarashtra, because he was encouraging his son Duryodhana. The war was inevitable, and the Kauravas and all the huge army from the Kaurava side were assembled in the battlefield. The ground, everybody, all generations, that is the grandfathers, the children, the grandsons, everybody were assembled in the battlefield. And the sad part of it was that the whole generation was going to be vanquished in this battle. And when the Sanjaya went on to explain the Dhritarashtra about the events on the battlefield, when the Kauravas blew their conch shells, which was started by Bhishma, there was not much of a disturbance to the minds of the Pandavas. But whereas when the Pandavas, that is the Nakula, Krishna, and Arjuna, they all started blowing their conch shells, it had such a tremendous sound that the Kauravas were shaken by the sound of the conch shells. All this happened only due to the presence of Krishna, the Supreme. And you also said about Krishna here is referred to as infallible, because even though he's the Supreme Lord, he, due to his friendship with Arjuna and his Arjuna being a pure devotee of the Lord, he accepts to become his charioteer. And so he drew the chariot of Arjuna to the battlefield of Kurukshetra. The specialization of this chariot of Arjuna was that there was a flag on the chariot which carried the image of Hanuman, showing the strength and support. And also there was a presence of the goddess of fortune, because wherever Krishna is there, goddess of fortune will always be along with him. And so Arjuna had everything, a goddess of fortune, the strength, and Krishna himself along with him. So there was no the ambiguity, there was no fear for him. And one more thing is, then Arjuna asks Krishna to drive him into the center of the battlefield. Krishna drew the chariot to the center of the battlefield, and Krishna being a Supreme Lord who is present in everybody's heart of the living and the living entities, he can know what is going on in the minds of his devotees. So he knew why Arjuna wanted to go to the battlefield, be the center of the battlefield. Arjuna came to the battlefield to see who was present, but he was surprised, and as well as to see all his relatives, his friends, his grandfather, his Dronacharya, his teacher, and all his cousins, all his relatives in the battlefield. That perturbed him a lot. Because yeah, he also saw the very soldiers who were with him, both the soldiers from the Kaurava side and the Pandava side. But the thing that disturbed Arjuna was that he had to, everybody is here and everybody will be killed in this battle. All the relatives, even his grandfather and the teachers, as well as he was also more empathetic towards the soldiers who was going to die, both from Kaurava side and the Pandava side. And here it is, we can note that Arjuna has been called as Gudakesha. Gudakesha is referred to a person who is the one who is conquered sleep. Sleep doesn't mean the material sleep. It is also referred to as ignorance. The one who conquers sleep and ignorance. And Arjuna also saw Bhurishrava. He was a contemporary of his father, he saw him as his father figure, who is also part of the battle. Seeing all these people, Arjuna was so perturbed that his mouth started getting dry, and he was. It is not due to fear that he was getting petrified. It was because he had to see all his relatives getting killed in the battlefield. And I think I can remember only this much.
Very nice, very nice. Many points covered. Okay. Anybody else would like to add? Okay. Are there any questions? Okay. So thank you all. Thank you all for joining. So we will connect again in the next class. So it will be posted in the group. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I just had
Hare
one
Krishna,
doubt.
Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yes, please ask.
Prabhuji, even though Krishna was present there, when Krishna went to the Kauravas to ask for land
Yes.
for Pandavas, so even when Krishna was there, how come they couldn't see him as a supreme father? I meant when Krishna is there, there is no ignorance or Maya, no Prabhu. So even when he was there, how come that Kauravas did not get enlightened, or how come they were still in that ignorant?
So we see in the upcoming chapters, Krishna says, Naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samavritah mudoyam navijanati. So although Krishna is there, but he is also covered by a curtain of yogamaya. So only the devotees can understand Krishna. So those who are not devotees, they will think him as an ordinary person. So somebody whose heart is filled with envy, lust and envy, he will not be able to recognize the Supreme Lord. So it requires love. So only when we have developed our love for Krishna, we'll be able to recognize Krishna. Otherwise, even if Krishna comes before us, we'll not be able to recognize his position. So for that, purification is required. Our heart has to be purified. Right now, our heart is filled with contamination. So because of that, we'll not be able to recognize the position of Krishna. So that was the case with all the demons, Pandavas, Shishupala, everybody. Although they Krishna, but because they were envious of him and their heart was filled with lust, greed, and anger, these things, contaminations, so they could not recognize the position of Krishna.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Thank you all. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.